Did you know that teachers are often millionaires? I'm actually 30 years old, and my husband and I will be millionaires in a few years. And I want to share how the heck you can become a millionaire on a teacher salary. Let's get into it. My first piece of advice would be to go where the money is. If you want to make more money as a teacher, you want to maximize your earning potential. Certain states pay more. Typically, your cost of living will go up. But like I live in Virginia, I made, I don't know, it was $20,000 to $30,000 more by moving one county over. And then we got like a 29, 30% pay increase over those COVID years. And so I was making 90% more than I was in a different county. And I didn't even drive that much further. And so how can you find a county, find a state that pays better? You might have to commute. Maybe you don't, but is there a way to make more money by choosing the right location? Okay, I'm gonna share another tip, and honestly, to start the video, I'm doing a few tips to increase your earning potential because you can always cut, but it's easier and better, and I want that for you to earn more instead of having to scrimp and save like I did, because it is definitely more fun when you make more. Okay, so another way I increased my earning potential was by getting my master's degree. And so I got my master's degree in teaching. You can get it in teaching, education. You could even get it in administration. So a lot of teachers end up becoming administrators if that is your call. You do make more money. You do spend more time at the school, but you can increase your income that way. But simply with any master's degree, you will make more. So currently in my county, I make about $6,000 more every single year just by having my master's degree. A lot of counties, some of the surrounding counties, you can make over $10,000 more in addition to your regular salary. If you were making $70,000, if you had your master's, you can make $80,000. And so typically, if you go to a school, I got accepted into really nice colleges for my master's degree, but I ended up going online and paid 18 to 20,000, I believe. It was about that, maybe 22,000 something. And if I'm making $6,000, it would take 3, 4, maybe 5 years at most to pay it back. And so if you're going to teach for a long time, and you make sure you don't go to a school that costs a lot, or even a lot of counties pay for some of your credits to be able to take more courses, you can make more money. So that's something easy you can do. I'm always looking for ways to increase the income without necessarily increasing the time I have to spend at school. I love my students. I am so passionate about teaching and working with kids and helping them to be their best selves. But I also am very protective over my time. And so anything that can just help you make more, like going to a different county, going to a different state, getting your master's degree, any of those things can help. And then you can add on more things later. Another thing that you don't have to do this, but I'm just being honest, this certainly helped me, is get married, right? If you have a dual income, if you have multiple incomes, that's going to help. And now I don't love this one because it isn't just on you. Like I wanted to give you practical things that you alone can do, but know that this will help, or keep that in mind of like, how am I going to afford anything? Just trust that eventually if you want to get married or find a partner, that will help you a lot. Another part for increasing your income is adding on more responsibilities. So this might require more time. First, I'm going to give you some options during the school day. So I don't know about your county. My county that I'm currently in actually rewards us a lot. We even used to get paid for sub coverage, which if you're a teacher, you know this. I assume most of you watching are teachers. And so when you had to do sub coverage, you actually got paid for it. I don't know, it was like 30 something an hour, 40 something an hour. Is pretty nice. They did away with that, but that was something. We also get paid for extra duties. I know a lot of counties and states require you to do that. There are certain things we do have to do, like hall duty. Those types of things are just part of our contract, but there's some security systems being brought into the school. There's other things, and I make a few $1,000 more per year by doing that. I also get compensated for, I have a huge class sizes. My training is in English, but I also actually teach health and physical education right now. So we have huge classes, and the county actually compensates us. It's not a crazy amount, but a few thousand for the amount of kids. I teach almost 50 kids at a time. Actually, I do have 50 kids, and then the other teachers have 50 kids as well. So it's a lot of kids. And so that is one way they try to compensate us for that. In addition to those things that you can do during school, there's things you can do after school. Like if you want to be a coach, if you want to tutor, any of these things. I don't know if club sponsors usually get paid. I don't think they typically do. It could be a fun and awesome thing to do though. Any of those types of things can really help. The big thing is that it requires a lot of time in certain counties. Like my husband's a coach, he's a teacher as well, and he puts so much time and energy and hours into coaching. It makes like a few $1,000s, you know? And so he's not worried about that because his passion is coaching, and most teachers, we love what we do. But I'm just trying to help you because we don't want teachers to just be scrimping and saving and not being able to live their fullest and most meaningful life. Okay, so those were some things you can do to increase your income, which is essential. I know a lot of people will, on the side, they either decide to leave teaching or they will find other things to do. Maybe instead of coaching or doing something at the school, maybe you could start a side hustle. Maybe you could post on YouTube. Maybe you can create ebooks. Maybe you can create an Etsy account and sell. Maybe you could sell your curriculum. What are the things you're already doing? Do you sew on the side? Could you sell something that you sew or that you make? There's so many different options. So if you really love teaching, but you want to make more. I know a lot of teachers have these side hustles. I know someone had a vending machine business. I know someone who sold the curriculum and they actually made a ton of money doing that. So, and someone has a t-shirt business. So whatever you want to do, I know time is valuable, but if you really have a passion for it and you want to add on to it, feel free. If you're enjoying this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and join me along for being our best selves, being richer, happier, healthier, and enjoying our lives. I'd love to have you here. I wanted to share a few tips on not only how to increase your income as a teacher, but how to maybe live a little bit smarter financially. And so one thing you can do is consider living with roommates. If you're a young teacher, or even if you're a little older, to each their own, find family, live with your parents, get roommates. All of these things are so helpful. And this has been critical on my financial freedom journey, is to be willing to go live with family, to be willing to find roommates. And instead of paying $3,000 for a place, you split it up. Go live further out if you want to. My husband and I did that as well. And we lived further out, but we had a payment of $1,200 a month. And so that can make a huge difference. I call it the big three: your food, your transportation, and also your housing. If you can minimize that and cut it down, you have more money to invest and save. If you want to become a millionaire on a teacher's salary, you need to invest your money. The 401ks, the things they set you up with is great, but you need to do more, okay? One way is to try to make sure you can get $583.33 a month. That's a specific number, but you can invest, as of 2025, you can invest $7,000 into a Roth IRA, which is outside of your employer. You just open a brokerage account with Vanguard, Fidelity, any good brokerage, and you will open a Roth IRA. You can invest up to $7,000 a year, which is that $583.33 a month. And if you invest in something like the S&P 500, an ETF, or an index fund, you will make over $1 million in 30 years. 30 years. 50 years, you'll have multiple millions. And if you have your spouse do this, if you're able to find a little over $1,000 a month that you guys put aside there, and with your spouse, you will have multiple millions of dollars by the time you retire, right? I assume you love teaching, you want to stay in teaching, but you want to be able to have money when you retire and be able to retire. And so this is key. Investing has truly helped us a lot. It's the saving habits, it's the increasing our income, but it's what are we doing with that money? You want to invest in yourself and other ways to make more money, but also investing in the stock market or other income producing assets. If you feel called to real estate, go ahead. But for me, it's so easy to get invested in the stock market. And if you want help with this, I actually have an ebook that I made. I'm going to have a free YouTube video. So if you just want the free stuff, that's totally fine. But I'm jam packing this ebook. It's over 150 pages with information on exactly how to invest, how to open an account, which account to choose. Why should I choose this one? What's an ETF? What's an index fund? What are dividends? How the heck can I get millions of dollars just by investing 500 something a month? And all the tax advantaged accounts. So if you're interested, feel free to check that out. I'll try to put a link in the description. If you don't see that, feel free to comment investing or ebook and I will send you more information. Now, if you're wondering how the heck can you make that much money, I'm going to show you really quick on this compound interest calculator. It's one of my favorite tools. If you invest that $583.33 a month for those 30 years, you notice the graph here, you notice it goes up. What that first line is, there's going to be a green and a blue line. One shows the principal, which is how much money you put in. And then the other one shows how much growth it had by being invested. And compound interest, you are getting dividends, you're getting interest on your interest because you're investing in a company. And they're saying, thank you for giving us money so we can go make more money. Here's some money for helping us out. Right? So you want to be an owner and an investor, and that is how a lot of teachers become millionaires. You also want to work on your spending and saving habits. So I am naturally a saver. I've been saving for a long time. I saved so much money. I barely spent money on things. I paid for gas. We lived on one income with my husband. Like, I didn't feel the need to buy a bunch of stuff. And, I don't want that for everybody. And I don't wish that for everybody. So yes, we can have some saving and I'll have a personal finance. I'm probably going to come up with a book on that as well, but I really will do a video on just personal finance one-on-one. How can we minimize our spending? How can we be a better saver? But also how can we enjoy our life, right? Like if you like to go to Target, give yourself a budget for that. Give yourself $100, $200. If you want to go on a vacation, we would set up a bank account and we would put money for vacations, and then we would use that money for the flights. And so there's a lot of strategies you can use to be able to make sure you're investing and saving for the future, but then also having money for things you want. Instead of spending money, like when I looked at our bank account and the statements and I'm like, wait a second, like we're spending how much on food? I would rather cut that out because some of those things I didn't want or we didn't want to eat out. And so let's put the money over here. And so it's all about creating a life that you actually want, but you got to look at it, you got to know the numbers, and you have to figure out what are your habits right now. And lastly, know it takes time. It takes time to build the wealth. But if you are investing, if you have that extra money and you made sure you did that, you're increasing your income so you can actually enjoy your life in the meantime, you're going to be fine and it's going to happen. It's proven to work. And so give yourself time, give yourself grace. If you're interested in learning how to become a millionaire faster as a teacher, I'm going to do a video on that. But for now, feel free to check out this video on exactly how I am becoming a millionaire in my 30s as a teacher.